Hey everybody, welcome back to my channel. I hope you like this vlog. I hope. I'm basically trying something new. There's a lot that I want to say, so let me just get this part off my chest first. I'm trying something new. For those of you who don't know, I am a published writer and poet. I have published my written works under my pen name because I don't really want to use my real name because I kind of want to keep that private to a degree. Anyway, I want to try and keep that sort of like separate from all the stuff that's happening on this channel and with the blog that's associated with this channel and all of the feeds and social media associated under the name of Calaelen, which is also one of my pen names, just in case you're new and don't know who I am. But I'm trying something new. I want to try a slightly different format to my videos because there's a format that I've sort of started using over on my author channel, which I'll link down below so you can just check it out and let me know what you think. And I kind of want to just continue doing the same sort of formats, using the same sort of format for this channel as well. It just makes things a bit more easier for me and it forces me to be a lot more creative, especially now when I'm trying to restart this channel, which has been incredibly difficult, incredibly slow and quite a emotional and still a very traumatic experience so far. It's a whole process. On more than one occasion, I've tried to sit down and write or try and film a video basically explaining what happened to all of my videos, what happened to this channel, and each and every time I feel like I'm ready to take the plunge and start going through that whole creative endeavor of explaining and expressing what's happened, I suddenly find myself clamming up and I'm freaking out on the inside. I don't know if you can hear it in my voice, but I'm still very emotional. I'm still very nervous about what's happened. Basically, I want to try and just move forward with my life. Whether or not I actually sit down in the future and actually explain what happened is a whole other story. But right now, I just want to focus on the healing aspects, the reclaiming of my life and my practice aspects, and just trying to move on with my life the best that I can. But very briefly, someone basically doxed me and tried to destroy my life and destroy all of my work, destroy everything that I put out on the internet that I spent many years cultivating, you know, networking, making friends, meeting new people. I was initiated into an order. Everything was working out for me at that time. My life was finally on track. I was in the middle of my degree. I got into my first ever relationship. Everything was just going swimmingly. It was going well. I was counting all of my blessings on a daily basis, and then this thing just happened out of nowhere and just destroyed everything. I had to get the police involved, and it was for my own safety that they said you need to start shutting everything down. And the pain of sitting through, going through page after page after page of videos and just deleting every single one was the most heartbreaking thing, because I realized at that point I was so close to so much and it all just got taken away from me because of this individual. The police are still on it, but they don't know who it is. So it's been a good number of years since then. My boyfriend is now my husband, which is really nice. I've also moved to Canada, and hopefully as part of my claiming of freedom, which is something that I've always wanted to do most of my life, I've just wanted to have my own freedom and independence to be able to do things and to perform magic as and when I wanted to, and not have the pressure of other people sort of staring down at me or judging me or trying to get me to go to church or anything like that. I'm now in a position where I'm able to do that. As also to do with the whole ruining of my life situation and losing absolutely everything and then suddenly realizing who my real friends were. and who was actually going to be there to support me and be around me and help me out and stuff, it meant that I had to go through some very severe healing. The healing process was already long and drawn out and emotional at that point, and then things just progressively just got worse when 2017 came in. It just got worse. And I don't even know what happened, but I was talking to a good friend of mine. She's one of the co-founders of Alchemy Organica down in LA. She was like, it could just be your Saturn, like everything's happening because you're a certain age now. It could just be a case of Saturn just being in your orbit right now, so everything's going wrong. I didn't know what to say to that, but I sat back and I thought, yeah, it makes so much sense. And unfortunately, he's still got it there. But, you know, it was just a whole process. So that's what I kind of chalked it down to. But as the years went on, it just kept getting worse and worse and worse and worse. And the amount of bad luck just kept building and building and building and building. And I just started to sort of lose it a little bit. It was also during that time where my spell work and my ritual work was becoming an all-time low. I wasn't practicing as much as I'd like to, as I wanted to back then. I just didn't think it was feasible at the time. I just couldn't get myself into the mood. I couldn't get myself out of bed. The only things I was able to do at that point was to get up and go to work, deal with the grief and the bullying that I was dealing with back then, and then go home even more depressed and deflated than I was in the morning. So it was just going from, I went from like being really confident and being on top of everything to just suddenly being absolutely nothing, and it was like the worst feeling in the world. But everything just got worse. It was really annoying. And then it just felt like there was no way that I could come back to YouTube. I just felt like there was nothing I could do to try and find that spark and to find that creativity again and just come back. But there were a few little things that I did do as far as my practice was concerned that kind of kept me on track for a while. And those things ranged from meditation to just going to the gym and just working out on my own, taking time out to sit and journal a little bit more, to try and be a bit more creative, doing more meditation with crystals and things, and tarot continued being a big element in my life at that point. But with that being said, with tarot, now listen, I'm a very, how do I explain this? I'm a very boring, simplistic, minimal, I don't think I'm minimal, I have way too much junk. Very sort of like self-deprecating, self-opinionated, occultist, magician. I don't like, once I find something that I want as part of my magical practice, that's kind of it for me. Nothing else exists. So when it came to tarot, I only had a few decks for myself, and I was very comfortable with those decks. So comfortable, I refused to buy any more decks. I didn't see the point in buying new decks. I was like, I'm quite happy with all of these decks. They all do what I want them to do. They all sort of represent the very situations or subject matters that I want to deal with. That's all I need in my life right now. I'm good. So I was fine for a good few years with my tarot decks. I didn't really expand outside of them. I had less than 10 decks altogether, and I used like 5 of them regularly, whether it was for meditation, psychological well-being, journaling or something, or just general self-care, or just a meditation for the week, just something to think about and focus on for the week as part of like a spiritual lesson or something. That I was comfortable doing that. I was very comfortable, too comfortable. And because I was so comfortable with my magic practices, nothing was really moving, nothing was really developing. I became stagnant, and that was also adding to a lot of the depression and anxiety that I was having. That was adding to a lot of the crap that I was dealing with. It's one of those things where you constantly have to remind yourself that every time you fall down, you have to get back up. But at that time, I had fallen down, but not of my own choice, but I chose to stay down there, and I chose to wallow, and I needed to get myself out of that funk. I needed to get myself out of that wallowing state and get myself back up. Regardless of how many people would keep pushing me down and kicking me down and try to hold me down, I would try and do what I could to try and get myself back up. So the whole healing process became this multi-year journey for me, and I haven't looked back since. It's been really remarkable, and it's been really, really helpful for me. I'm still going through that healing process, which is why my videos are going to be a bit sporadic on this channel and the other one, because I'm not yet at a level where I feel confident enough to be busting out videos like every week or every 2 weeks or every few days or anything. I'm not yet at that level, but it's been a process. It's still a process, and I'm still working my way through it. So Rebecca Tompkins, I'll link her channel down below. She alerted me to this tarot deck because I was posting a bunch of videos of tarot cards and pictures, sorry, on my Instagram of tarot card readings and things. But she alerted me to this particular tarot deck called the Synesthesia Tarot, and she was like, oh my God, you better check it out. Sorry, let me rephrase that. Oh my God, you better check out this deck. It's absolutely amazing. Sorry, she's Australian, so I had to do that. Sorry if I've just offended all of Australia. So I checked it out and I absolutely fell in love. I fell in love with this deck for a number of reasons, because of how it looks, how it feels, how easy it is just to read it, how easy it is just to feel like you're being pulled into the cards. It's just a really beautiful and amazing deck. But the one thing that I didn't realize up until recently was how important that deck was actually going to be for me. It was the first deck that I got in this country after having moved here, because I got it sent here before I flew out and moved here. It was also the deck that basically helped to restart and rekindle that flame that I'd been looking for the last few years as far as magical practice was concerned. It helped to bring me out of that funk even more. And for that reason, I absolutely love this deck. I absolutely love it. Please do not watch the terrible review or unboxing or whatever. I'm gonna redo another one. But it was the deck that physically spoke to me and reminded me of how at one time I was a really cool person. I was a very magical individual, and I can reclaim that and also go with the flow with the new person that I've become and the new person that I have developed myself into becoming the last few years. So it was a very important deck to me, and I absolutely loved it. I have since been trying to organize and update my altar space and stuff like that, because now my altar space isn't something that I have for just me. It is something that I now also share with my husband, who's also an occultist and magician. So that worked out. Sorry, I'm just being really cheesy. But since then, I have been checking out other oracle decks and tarot card decks and things, getting new crystals because I have to replace a bunch of things, because a lot of my magical items I left back in the UK with the intention of going back and then picking them up bit by bit every time I go back and visit. But for the time being, if there's anything that I really, really need right now, I will just have to go out and replace them. And tarot cards. Oh my God, tarot cards. Ooh, ooh, tarot cards. This is actually the third deck that I've picked up since living here in Toronto. This is the Modern Witch Tarot deck by Lisa Stell, published by Liminal 11. I don't know very much about this deck. I still don't. I only got it last night. But I'm taking my time with it to try and get to know it. But I kept seeing it all over Instagram, and I was like, what is this deck? It's so beautiful. I love it. There's a magician who looks like me. So that was really cool. So that's what kind of pushed me into checking out the deck. All I've done really, as far as research is concerned, I've just looked at pictures of it on Instagram. And that was about it. And then I decided to take the plunge and see if I can hunt it down online somewhere. So I hunted it down. I found a copy of it online and I got it. It got delivered last night. So I'm really, really happy. As I was going through the deck last night when I first got it, because obviously with new tarot decks, you do have to go through and like check out each card and just kind of like imbue yourself with its energy and stuff before you cleanse and stuff, and just sort of introduce yourself like, oh, hi, I'm so-and-so, we're gonna be working together. I was just doing that, and I started to notice that it reminded me a lot of the Rider-Waite deck. So I don't know if that's actually a thing. I'm assuming it is. There is a book. I haven't looked at the book yet. I was more, because it was so late last night, I was just more interested in just getting it up on the windowsill so that I could get it cleansed under the half moon in Gemini last night. So that's what I did. But I love it. So I'm going to spend a bit more time with this deck. I've decided that this month, this is going to be one of the 2 decks I'm going to be using this month for all of my readings. So you'll probably see more of these cards over on my Instagram at some point, but for the time being, I'm absolutely in love with this deck. I mean, for those of you who haven't seen it, like, it's a modern interpretation, from what I gather, of the Rider-Waite deck. So you've got the Fool here, but she's clearly got like an iPhone, and she's like about to jump off the cliff or not realize that it's there because, you know, she's the Fool. It's really cool. The artwork in this is just stunning. And I love how inclusive it is as well. The color is so bad. I'm so sorry. I've got like a great big torch right in front of my face. So the color is kind of being drowned out a little bit. I love this one though, the 7 of Wands. To be honest, like, I was looking at how she looked and I was like, that's how I wish to dress on a daily basis. But with the job that I do, that would be impossible. So that was kind of cool. But yeah, it's just an incredibly inclusive deck. I absolutely love it. Absolutely love it. The 10 of Swords. There's also another card in the deck which has the 10 of Swords on it, and it says at the bottom, everything is fine. And I thought that was so kind of like on point. But again, getting all of these tarot cards and things and getting new crystals and getting new tools and things like that, it's all sort of shaping up to be like the physical aspect of my healing and the reclaiming of myself. It's been really handy. And because I saw the everything is fine card in the box, that kind of made me realize I need to just get myself a brand new tarot journal instead of using the one that I'm currently using because it's kind of falling apart and it's kind of gross. Again, samey. I'm so used to just being comfortable in crap that I stick with the crap. But this is just kind of invigorating me to actually go out and start hunting down a new journal just for tarot, and I can have those particular cards inside constantly reminding me that I am a nice person, I am awesome, I am brave, and I've gone through absolute hell, but I'm back. So that's what I want to do. So who knows? So I'm just gonna transition out now and give you a quick rundown of something else because this video is way too long. I don't know what that was, but transition. This video was supposed to be more of a vlog. I wasn't supposed to be standing here and just jibber jabbering away like I used to in the old days. This was supposed to be like just a fun vlog, like you see me in the apartment, then I go out and walk my dog and you see me with the dog and I'm talking to you guys about sun worship and that it's just, it hasn't worked out that way. So maybe the next one will be like that. I don't know. But I just want to be a bit more casual with my approach. And I think that's what's going to help me sort of get my confidence back as far as filming is concerned. But anyway, just a quickie before I go. For those of you who don't know, during that entire traumatic experience that I went through, 2019 was my year. A good friend of mine contacted me, who's also an occultist and magician, and he was like, hey, do you want to write a book with me? So I was like, a what now? But after a few months of like chatting away and writing up essays and him sending me copies of his essays so I could get an idea of what he was talking about, so I could talk about my own stories the same way, we published this book, Enter the Circle, Essays on Mental Health and the Occult. I photographed the front and then he edited. It was kind of cool. I love this book. I love it. But this is the book that we came out with. So I'm now officially a published writer. Oh my God, what? But yeah, I'm now officially a published writer. This is my first collection of essays. It's a nice, neat book. It's a lot thicker than my poetry collection, which I will start the marketing for over on my other channel at some point soon. I just need to go over some edits for the Kindle version and then re-release it. But this was, again, a huge part of my healing process. The fact that I was able to sit and write about the occult in fairly long essay form was something I hadn't done in a good number of years, and I felt so empowered and so blessed and so happy and so proud of myself for not only writing these essays and then editing them and then sending them to him so that he could go over them. His English is not his first language. But then actually putting this labor of love together, it's just, I'm so happy. So yeah, it's out. Although, just a quick note, I did reread one of my essays for the first time in a long time the other day, and I was like, oh my God, none of this makes grammatical sense, but it's already out now. So if you do happen to purchase it and you do get a bit tongue-tied or during the first essay, just know that that was one section I probably didn't edit when I thought I had edited it. So it's just a nice little mistake that I left in the book. So enjoy. But yeah, it was just a good time. At the time that I was writing it, I was coming out of, I would say, like the darkest part of my depression at that point, and it was just so invigorating and just so nice to just sort of take that weight off my shoulders and just put it into a couple of essays within here. And it made sense to me. So this is a very important book to me. So I just thought I would let you guys know. I'm probably gonna bug you because I'm an independent writer, an independent publisher and stuff. So I'm probably gonna bug you with books as time goes on, but you could just skip those bits. I will try and remember to put timestamps in, like, oh, she's advertising her book. We can just skip this, okay. But yeah, I just thought I would just share my books with you. This is a poetry collection about, again, some of the problems that I had with the idea of dating and romance and things and the difficulties that I had with it. So I've just kind of put them in here. So if you happen to like poetry, wait a few days, don't buy it yet. Just wait until I've done everything, and then I'll publicize it over on my Instagram and over on my Twitter. But yeah. I think that's everything I wanted to say for now. Yeah, and that's pretty much everything I wanted to say for this video. But now we're gonna move on to a really cool aspect of the video, which I would like to do for future videos, just to get people talking and to prepare me for the next video that I would like to put up, which is me pulling card of the day and also giving you guys the question of the day. So, question of the day. Are you more of a sun magician, a moon magician, or do you work with both of them? Today's card is the Three of Cups. See, I told you these cards are beautiful.